Okay. So the educational podcast that I looked up for essentially for PE teachers podcasting. I found one from the PE specialist that was kind of Q&A. It was kind of advice for the first year teachers because that's going to be probably the toughest year of teaching for just about anybody, because you're going to have to come up with all your lesson plans and kind of adapt to actually teaching rather than going to school for it, or and being able to kind of take your time and perform lesson plans and do it in school. You're going to actually be able to, you're going to have to just kind of adapt at the time. And that's that's mostly what they went into. They were talking about how you might get overwhelmed that first year, and you're just going to have to get through it because it's the first year is all about survival, and how they use a lot of like social media to actually help them, because as far as PE teachers go, you're more than likely going to be either the only teacher at your school, or there might be another one, but more than likely you're going to be the only one. So you're not going to have much help there. So finding social media and going to conferences will help you with kind of just surviving that first year. They also mentioned how they kind of wrote notes to their future self so that once they have their lesson plans done and they've taught them, they can adapt from it from there, and they don't have to struggle with it year after year, and they can fix it in the time frame. That's pretty much what it all went into. I found it pretty interesting, just because it's going to be something that's going to come up a couple years from now. Everyone's going to deal with that first year, and I think it's good to kind of what I want to say, kind of good to know what you're getting into beforehand, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The ways that Web 2.0 technologies like podcasting, blogging, wikis will be useful for a classroom in the future, I think it's mostly just going to be, as far as for a PE teacher, the best way is like being able to search up lesson plans and see how other teachers did it, to kind of essentially just adapt from them and see what worked for them, how it could work for you. My experience with Prezi, it was okay. Prezi's a lot. I think it's a better tool, yes, but like if you're just looking for something very simple and easy to use, I think PowerPoint's probably better. Prezi is a lot more streamlined and a lot less boring than PowerPoint, but I think overall, just kind of how everyone pretty much ever has used PowerPoint. So that's why it's essentially better, because everyone's already adapted to PowerPoint. And I feel like if Prezi was the main one that we used, we might do a much better job at using it. But essentially it's not my main one to use. So that's going to be the reason that I would say it's not as good, just because I don't know how to use it as well. And user error is kind of where it's at. It's my problem with Prezi, just because I don't know how to do it that much well yet. But overall, I'd probably use Prezi again. If I get more comfortable with it, I think I could probably adapt to Prezi rather than PowerPoint. But as far as teaching standpoint, I'd probably just use PowerPoint. So